So I tested out my clay sand mix that I got for the inner layer of the oven, and I actually baked it in my gas grill for about a half an hour just to make sure it would set, and it seems to hold up pretty well. This is just a chunk of the piece I made, that's why it's broken like that. So I think I'm good on that. This was actually, I got this at a landscaping company, bought way more than I needed for about $10, and it's actually intended for baseball fields. It's a baseball field mix that's part clay, part sand. Okay, I've got my surface on here now. These are fire brick, and what we did is we packed cob around the edge and then filled that in with sand to give the fire brick a surface. Tried to level it as best I could, and now the next part is we're going to basically make a sand mold, which the clay for the oven will go around. Alright, there's the sand mold. Now we're going to cover it with newspaper before we start doing the oven layer. So there it is with the newspaper on it. I'm going to have a bit of a challenge on this front edge because I don't have a lot of real estate, just due to poor planning on my part. I'm probably going to have to build that edge up with the insulation layer a bit. There it is. Time to get started mixing the oven layer. Okay, there's the inner layer. That's just sand and some clay, that double play mix I told you about before. And I've cut the door, and it kind of looks like Jabba the Hutt, just because of how I had to arrange it to get that rocket stove in there. So now it's time to mix up some cob and do the insulating layer. This is going to be my clay sand mixture for the insulating layer, the cob, and we'll be mixing straw into it. I just have a bag of straw bedding, and we'll be stomping it on this tarp with a little assistance from Nat. You ready to stomp, Nat?
Yeah.
And you probably won't get much video at this stage because my hands will be too dirty to hold the camera, but there's plenty of other great videos on the internet of people stomping cob. So I ran out of cob right before I finished the top of the dome, so I'm going to have to mix up just a little bit more to finish that off. But this is the insulating layer. And then I'm going to mix up a little bit of clay without the straw just to kind of put a nicer finishing smooth layer on it. And then we'll let it dry for a while. Alright, there it is. There's my feeble attempt at artistic interpretation. Jabba no bada. Alright. So now we'll just let it cure until it'll stand up on its own, and then we can pull the sand out and start firing it.